If you're a beginner, stop right there. You're about to buy the wrong gun, and it's going to hit you in the first 10 minutes. Slide won't move, shots all over, and now you're standing there thinking you're the problem. You're not. These are the best 9mm pistols for beginners in 2026 that actually make you shoot better immediately, without fighting recoil, grip, trigger, or confidence. Because right now, you're choosing between bad options and don't even know it. Small guns will punish you. Big guns will mess with your head. And the safe recommendations. Half of them are why people quit early. You don't need more advice. You need the right starting point. One of these will fix the exact mistake you're about to make. And one of them I didn't trust at all until I watched what it did to someone in minutes. The CZ-P10C stops you from making the most common beginner mistake, starting with a gun that fights you. And most people still walk right past it. I had it in my hand at the counter and already felt it. This thing doesn't impress anyone. No hype, no flex, nothing pulling you toward it over the louder names next to it. That's exactly why people mess this up. You're about to do one of two things. Overspend on something that looks serious, or cheap out and walk out with something that feels like a toy. This sits right in the middle, so it gets ignored. I almost did the same thing. Then I watched a new guy struggling with a tiny carry gun he just bought. Every shot pushed him off. Every adjustment made it worse. And by the end, he wasn't blaming the gun anymore. He was blaming himself. Started to put it back. But something about it felt right. Grip didn't fight me. Slide didn't feel like work. Nothing awkward, nothing forced. Because when you're new and a gun feels like that early, you learn faster instead of fighting through every mistake. This one doesn't slow you down. And that's exactly why it gets overlooked. The Canik Mete SF is one of the easiest guns to learn on, because it actually shows you what you're doing wrong. I watched it embarrass a more expensive gun last month. Busy Saturday morning, and it wasn't even close. Guy, 2 lanes over, brand new, running something with a big name and an even bigger price tag. Every shot looked wrong, not just off, confused. Shoulders tight, face locked up, hits wandering like he had no idea what just happened. You could see the confidence drain out of him. He started thinking he was the problem. That's where beginners get stuck, because some guns don't fail. They just give you nothing back. No clear break, no clean picture, no feedback, just noise and doubt. Then he switched to the Canik Mete SF. Whole thing changed. Trigger made sense. Sights were clearer. His mistakes actually showed up instead of hiding. That's why this works for beginners. It doesn't make you better. It makes your learning obvious. And that speeds everything up. Only problem? That trigger's so clean. Some beginners start rushing before they've actually built control. And that can bite you. The next one doesn't give you that kind of help. And that's where people start struggling again. Nobody said pick the Glock. That's what stuck with me. Small beginner class. Table full of options. Different brands, sizes, finishes. Everything looked like a smart choice in 2026. More features, more hype. More reasons to feel confident. Instructor didn't say a word, just watched. And people did exactly what you'd expect. One grabbed something compact. One went expensive. Another picked the one he saw online 100 times. Everybody thought they were making the right call. Nobody touched the Glock 19. Then shooting started. Nothing dramatic, just enough to expose it. Sloppy grip, slow follow-ups, the quiet frustration people try to hide. Instructor stepped in, didn't explain anything, just swapped guns. Try this. Same thing. Different shooter, same quiet switch. I started noticing same gun every time. And here's the part beginners miss in 2026. When a gun just works, nobody talks about it. The mistake is thinking your first gun has to impress you. It doesn't. It has to disappear enough for you to learn. They just stop struggling. Movements cleaned up. Less hesitation, like the noise dropped out of their head. Class ended. One guy finally asked what to buy. Instructor barely looked up. You already shot it. Didn't say Glock. Didn't have to. Problem is, it's boring. Grip's still a brick. Triggers, nothing special. But for a first gun, it doesn't get in your way. And that's exactly why people ignore it. The next one does the opposite. And that's where people start messing up again. I've been shooting a lot lately. I said it like it meant something. Derek didn't argue. Former range instructor, the kind of guy who lets you talk just long enough to hang yourself. He just nodded toward the lane. Let's see it. I had the Smith & Wesson Equalizer in my hand. That should have made it easy. And that's exactly why it got uncomfortable. Light slide. Soft feel. Nothing fighting me. From day one, this gun never made me feel stupid. That's why beginners trust it fast. But standing there, something didn't match. Grip felt fine. Draw felt fine. Everything felt easy. The shots didn't feel that easy. Derek stayed quiet. No coaching, no correction, just me and what I'd claimed out loud. That's the trick with the Equalizer. It removes the first wall. No wrestling the slide. No awkward handling. No moment where you feel like the gun is already bigger than you. For a beginner, that matters. It lets you start without embarrassment. But easy can fool you. You start thinking comfort means progress. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it just means the gun hasn't forced your bad habits into the open yet. It opens the door clean. Just don't confuse walking through the door with knowing the room. Ryan already bought it. Pulled it out like he solved the whole problem. Small, clean, disappears in the hand. He had that look, like he finally made the smart choice. That's what everyone said to get. Yeah, that's the mistake. He didn't buy the easiest 9mm to learn on. He bought the smallest one he could tolerate carrying. And those are not the same thing. We were just standing outside. Nothing serious. He kept turning it in his hand, pointing out how thin it was, how easy it would be to hide. It disappears. Of course it does. So does your control. Small is easy to carry. That's true. But it doesn't give you anything back when you're trying to learn. Less grip. Less room. Every little mistake shows up harder. That's where beginners get tricked. They think less gun means less problem. It's usually the opposite. That's why something like the SIG P365X macro exists. Same idea. Carry gun, still compact enough to live on you. But it gives your hand something to work with. Enough grip to stop fighting every shot. Enough control that you're not guessing your way through it. It doesn't punish you just for being new. That's the difference people miss. He kept nodding like he still believed his choice made sense. Maybe it does for carry, just not for learning. He looked down at that little pistol for a second longer than before, then slid it back. Didn't say anything after that. You want to know why most beginners never improve? Because their gun lies to them. Either it hides the mistake or it overreacts and punishes them for it. So they end up guessing, adjusting randomly, and building nothing. The Shield Plus doesn't do that. It shows you the miss and it stays consistent about it. Same input, same result, again and again. That's rare right now. In 2026, some pistols either make everything feel fine even when your fundamentals are sloppy, or snap hard enough that you start flinching before you even understand what happened. This one doesn't play either game. So something shifts, you stop guessing, you press, you see it, you adjust, and it responds the same way. The patterns start showing up whether you like it or not. Not clean, not perfect, but readable. That's where people actually start learning. And it doesn't feel impressive. No hype, no wow moment. Just a gun that keeps telling you the same truth until you finally listen. Most people skip that because it's not exciting. The last one feels even better in your hands. And that's exactly where people start getting fooled again. Some guns make you better. This one makes the problem disappear. I didn't even ask what it was at first. The grip settled in without me adjusting anything. Not soft, not light. Just sitting there like it already knew where my hands were supposed to be. I brought it up and the sights were already lined up. No searching, no fixing. That's what caught me off guard. So I ran it again. Slower this time, waiting for something to break. Something to feel off. Didn't happen. That's when I actually looked at it. Walther PDPF series. Now I'm paying attention because it didn't feel like I was shooting better. It felt like I wasn't fighting anything anymore. Just press, result. Same input, same outcome. Grip stayed put, trigger didn't interrupt, nothing pushed back at me. And that's where it gets uncomfortable because this is what easy to shoot actually means in 2026. Not softer, not forgiving, just aligned in a way that doesn't force you to compensate. Which brings up a problem most people don't want to admit. How much of bad shooting is just using the wrong gun? I handed it back, and I didn't feel impressed. I felt off. Because once something works like that, it gets real hard to keep blaming everything else. So now it's on you. Which one actually lets you shoot without fighting it? Because the mistake isn't missing shots. It's picking something that makes you doubt yourself right away. Some people go too small and get punished. Some can't even run the slide. Others buy what sounds right and regret it the same day. And most don't realize it until they've already committed. If a gun makes you hesitate, fight it, or second guess, that's your answer. Drop your first gun below. The one you thought was right. And the one that actually worked. I'm Steve, and if you're still guessing after this, you're probably walking straight into the same mistake.